What's up, guys? I'm Caden with Crypto Now or Never, and welcome back to another update on Mr. Miggles. If you enjoy this style of content, please do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button. As always, none of this is financial advice. Let's get into it.
I have a dream, that's all I need. I'll make it happen with some work and belief. Know what I want.
Okay, so as you guys can see, Miggles has just been kind of bleeding over the last week or so. It's back down to a $26 million market cap. And I know there are some people out there who are starting to get a little bit worried about this project. However, I just want to point out the fact that pretty much the entire market right now is bleeding, especially if you look at the Memecoin market. Pretty much everything is down in the last 24 hours and down in the last week. For example, Pepe is down 20% in the last week. That's a huge move for this large of a market cap. It's back down to a $4.3 billion market cap. So understand that it's not just Miggles bleeding. And if you look at Ethereum, for example, we looked like we were having a very strong breakout yesterday and we were back above the 200-day moving average yet again. However, about an hour before we closed, we had a very strong sell-off. And that right there told you that we were not ready to break out yet. And if you look at this current candle, you can see that we've had another sell-off. But what's very important to understand right now is that the next FOMC meeting is actually tomorrow. You can see that right here if you come over and look at the Forex Factory. So understand that there could absolutely be some major volatility tomorrow. If we get rate cuts, if we don't get rate cuts, etc. And there's also a chance that we get an update on quantitative tightening versus quantitative easing. So make sure you understand this from a macro standpoint. The reality is that in order for Miggles and a lot of other meme coins to explode, we need to see Ethereum break out of this flag. We initially saw Ethereum break down from the flag with the Elon Musk Donald Trump drama. And then we saw us finally break out of the flag, however, then the war started. And now we're basically just consolidating in the flag yet again. So whichever level breaks is probably the direction that we're going to be heading in the short term. Just watch these trend lines. Now for Miggles specifically, again, we're really just consolidating right now. We had the very strong breakout, now we're just retesting previous resistance and previous support. But if you look at base meme coins ranked, this is where I'm very bullish on Miggles. So you can see right here, Miggles volume is 3.3 million. If you look at the volume above it, Doginme is 3.2 million and Keycat is 2.8 million. These projects are both listed on Coinbase and yet Miggles has higher volume than both of them. That's the kind of thing that makes me incredibly bullish on Miggles. This shows how much interest is in this project right now and you can't even buy it on Coinbase. Personally, if I was in the shoes of Coinbase, this is the kind of project that I'd be looking to list. It shows that there's already a lot of interest behind it. And I do think a lot of people out there are expecting Miggles to eventually get a Coinbase listing. At this point, it seems very likely, but ultimately only time will tell. But if we come over here and look at the Miggles X account, they're at 83.2k followers. But they're still continuing to grind every single day, which is exactly what I like to see. And they constantly seem to have collaborations going on, whether it's from previous events they've attended or new partners. In general, this is a project that constantly impresses me with their networking capabilities. So if this is your guys' first time watching a Miggles video, I highly recommend keeping this project on your watch list. I'm not sitting here telling you that I think Miggles is going to break out today or tomorrow or next week or the week after. It's absolutely possible that this project does take some time to play out, but they are grinding as hard as anyone in the base ecosystem. And I do want to point out for this project from a technical analysis standpoint that when this project breaks out, it breaks out hard. Look at the first time it broke out. It broke out and it went parabolic and went over 100 million market cap. Then what happened? It consolidated for several months. Finally, it had another explosion and it went parabolic yet again. It went from around 15 million to around 188 million in several days. So when this project runs, it runs violently. That's just the reality of the situation. And that's kind of what happens when you also have Wintermute as your market maker. So yeah, again, I heavily recommend keeping this on your watch list. Now, I do also want to take a quick look at Bitcoin real quick. So when you look at Bitcoin on the weekly, it's giving very mixed signals right now. In my opinion, option one would be that price action just continues to flag out for a little bit and comes down and retests the 21 weekly moving average. And while that would happen, the stochastics would start to reset, and same with the RSI. However, a big reason that Bitcoin could explode from here still is M2 global liquidity. And I know some of you guys are probably tired of me pointing this out because I point it out in nearly every video, but I point it out because it's extremely important. M2 global liquidity has been exploding since January. And as of this current time, it is still breaking out. M2 global liquidity usually front runs breakouts. So the fact that it's still breaking out is very bullish for Bitcoin. And you pair that with the monthly time frame, and the monthly time frame still has juice to keep going. Now, do understand the monthly does take quite a bit of time to actually play out though. Just because the monthly looks great, it doesn't mean that the weekly couldn't reset during that time period. In general though, again, we need to see Bitcoin and Ethereum explode before we're going to see Miggles explode. That's just the reality of the situation. And if you're hoping for a big Miggles listing, it is probably not going to come until the market starts to reverse. And you don't even want it to come before the market reverses. You want Miggles to get listings when the market is already hyped. But that's about it for the update today. If you guys are interested in Miggles and you guys guys are interested in getting into projects super early, then I always recommend taking a look at my Discord. We've been printing in here this entire bull run. You can look at the all-time gainer list and we've hit some massive gainers in here. And if you look through the crypto gain section, we're printing in here nearly every single day. So if this is the kind of community that you'd like to be a part of, you can find the link right here on my YouTube homepage. I'd love to see you guys in here. But that's about all. Let me know down in the comments how high do you guys think Miggles will go this bull run. If you found this content valuable, please do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great rest of your day.